Welcome back, students, to another session on gravitation. In the previous classes, I have told you about Newton's law of gravitation, according to which every object in this entire universe attract each other with a force that is directly proportional to the product of their masses and inversely proportional to the square of the distance between them. We adopted an expression for the gravitational force, that is F equal to g m1 m2 by r square, where g stands for universal gravitational constant. I'd also told you about Kepler's laws of planetary motion and how Sir Isaac Newton was able to deduce the inverse square law using Kepler's third law. So today we will introduce a new topic in our discussion, that is acceleration due to gravity. Now, from the concept of force, we already know that whenever a force is applied on any object, one possible effect that it may produce on that object is to change its state. This means force may either bring an object in rest into motion or may stop a moving object. In both the cases, there is a change in the velocity of the object. This means force can change the speed as well as bring about a change in the direction of motion of the object. So, if there is a change in velocity of the object with respect to time, this means this force can produce an acceleration. So, when we talk about gravitational force, this force is also responsible for producing an acceleration in an object. That object which is falling towards the center of the earth. So, today our topic of discussion would be on acceleration produced in an object due to the gravitational force of a body. As I was telling you that whenever an object is falling towards the surface of the earth, we consider it to be a situation of free fall. Now, one question might arise in your mind that why this word free is being used. This means that when the object is falling towards the surface of the earth, it is not under the influence of any other force apart from the force of gravity. That's why this word free has been used. So in Newtonian physics, free fall is any motion of a body where gravity is the only force acting upon it. In the context of general relativity, where gravitation is reduced to a space-time curvature, a body in free fall has no force acting on it. A body which is solely under the action of the gravitational force is referred to be in a state of free fall. Any object that is being acted upon only by the force of gravity is said to be in a state of free fall. Free falling objects do not encounter air resistance, and as mentioned, no force is acting upon them. So straight away I can tell you that here we make a very general assumption that we ignore air resistance. So when an object is under free fall, or for any freely falling object, when the object is solely under the action of the gravitational force of the earth, then as it is moving towards the surface of the earth, the force that is acting on the object, that is the gravitational force of the earth, is responsible for producing an acceleration on the object. So this uniform acceleration produced in a freely falling body is referred to as acceleration due to gravity. So we can define acceleration due to gravity as the acceleration which is gained by an object because of gravitational force. Its SI unit is meter per second square. Acceleration due to gravity is a vector, which means it has both a magnitude and a direction. And it has a standard value of 9.8 meter per second square. Obviously, since this acceleration is produced on the object due to the gravitational force of earth, so it is always directed towards the center of the earth, and by convention we consider to be the positive direction of acceleration due to gravity. This means whenever an object is falling vertically downwards, then we take acceleration due to gravity to be positive, and when an object is moving against the influence of gravity, that is upwards, then we consider acceleration due to gravity to be negative. Symbolically, it is represented by the alphabet small letter g, and it is having a numerical value of 9.8 meter per second square. Let us deduce a formula for g. For this, let us consider an object of mass m, which is on the surface of earth of mass m. So by Newton's second law of motion, we get F equal to ma. Also from Newton's law of gravitation, we know that F is equal to g m by r square. What is r? R is the distance of the object from the center of the earth. Now when we are talking about distance, we always consider the distance between the center of both the object. This means if this is the center of earth and this is the center of the object, then distance from the center of the object to the center of the earth, that is denoted by r. So F is also equal to gmm by r square. Now we can equate equation 1 and equation 2, and equating we get gmm by r square equal to m into a. So obviously we can cancel out m from both the sides, and we are left with the expression for acceleration, that is gm by r square, which is denoted by small g. So acceleration due to gravity has got the expression of gm by r square. Here you should remember that G stands for universal gravitational constant, M stands for mass of earth, and R stands for distance between the center of the earth to the center of the object. Now in order to calculate the value of acceleration due to gravity, we assume that the object is kept on the surface of the earth. So obviously the distance between the object and the center of the earth will be equal to the radius of the earth. The radius of the earth, that is denoted by r. So in this case, the acceleration due to gravity will be given by gm by r square. Now here you may ask that why didn't I consider the distance between the center of the object to the center of the earth? This is because the distance between the center to the surface of the earth, that is the radius of the earth, is huge in comparison to the size of the object. So we can approximate that the distance between the center of the object and the center of the earth is roughly equal to the radius of the earth, denoted by r. So acceleration due to gravity on the surface of the earth will be given by g equal to gm by r square. Here let us substitute the values. G is equal to 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11 Newton meter square per kg square. Mass of earth, that is 6 into 10 to the power 24 kg, and r, that is 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 meter. This is the radius of the earth. So we shall substitute these values in the expression for acceleration due to gravity. So we will get g equal to gm by r square. So that will be equal to 6.67 into 10 to the power minus 11. Mass of earth is 6 into 10 to the power 24 divided by r square, that is 6.4 into 10 to the power 6 whole square, and the unit will be meter per second square. So this will be equal to, we shall multiply 6.67 into 6, that will give you 40.02 into 10 to the power 13 divided by 6.4 whole square is 40.96 into 10 to the power 12 meter per second square. We can remove the decimal points. So now after doing the necessary calculations, it comes equal to 9.77 meter per second square, which is approximately equal to 9.8 meter per second square, and this is the value of acceleration due to gravity on the surface of earth. Acceleration due to gravity is a variable quantity, as it is dependent upon the distance between the object taken into consideration from the center of the another object. So as this distance varies, so does the value of acceleration due to gravity. In fact, I would like to tell you that the maximum value for acceleration due to gravity of Earth is on the surface of Earth that we just calculated to be equal to 9.8 meter per second square. So what are the factors that will ultimately bring about a variation in acceleration due to gravity? That is height from the surface of Earth, depth from the surface of Earth, with rotation of the Earth and with shape of the Earth. These are the factors that will be responsible for different values of acceleration due to gravity. Let us begin with the first one, with height from the Earth. So when we are considering an object at a height h from the surface of the Earth, we find that the acceleration due to gravity at that particular height is given by g dash equal to g1 minus 2h by r. Now I would like to tell you that the derivation part is not included in the syllabus for class 9, as it will be studied in class 11 in full detail. But for the time being, you should simply remember that as the height of an object from the surface of the Earth increases, the value of acceleration due to gravity goes on decreasing, and ultimately at a very large distance in space, the value of acceleration due to gravity becomes equal to 0. What happens when we go below the surface of the Earth? Again, at a certain depth taken from the surface of the Earth, the value of acceleration due to gravity will decrease. So, as we keep on moving towards the center of the Earth, the value of acceleration due to gravity goes on decreasing, and ultimately, if it is possible to reach the center of the Earth, then the value of acceleration due to gravity will be equal to 0. So this means, using this particular formula, if we reach the center of the Earth, then x will be equal to r. So just imagine g dash will be equal to g 1 minus r by r. So that will be equal to g 1 minus 1, and that will be equal to g into 0. So it will give us 0. This means at the core of the Earth, the value of acceleration due to gravity is equal to 0. But obviously it is a hypothetical situation. It is not possible to reach the center of the Earth, but theoretically by calculation we can show that the value of acceleration due to gravity at the core of the Earth is equal to 0. As we know that Earth undergoes two types of motion. It is rotating about its axis as well as revolving around the Sun. So there is an effect of the rotation of Earth on the value of acceleration due to gravity, due to which we find that at different positions on the surface of the Earth, the value of acceleration due to gravity is different. This means the value of acceleration due to gravity is maximum at the poles and minimum at the equator. Now this has a very striking effect on the weight of the object. We shall be discussing about it shortly, that what is weight and how the value of acceleration due to gravity brings about a change in the weight of the object. As I told you, the maximum value of acceleration due to gravity is observed near the poles, but it becomes minimum as we move to the equator, and this is primarily because of the rotation of Earth. Shape of the Earth. We think of Earth as a sphere. It is actually a spheroid, slightly larger in radius at the equator than at the poles. So object moving upwards or away from the center of the planet slows down. Object moving downward towards the center of the planet speeds up. The effect of the difference in the radius is that at the equator the value of acceleration due to gravity is less, and at the poles the value of acceleration due to gravity is more. So now we shall understand a very important thing: mass and weight. Mass is not equal to weight. In common terms, sometimes we refer to both the quantities as to be similar, but in terms of physics they are absolutely different quantities. Mass is a scalar quantity while weight is a vector quantity. Mass is actually referring to the quantity of matter present in the body, but weight is actually a force, the gravitational pull on any object. The force by which Earth attracts any object towards its center is commonly referred to as the weight of the object. So you can see in this picture, using a simple example, we can understand the difference between mass and weight. You can see that the weight on earth is around 560 newton, weight on moon is around 90 newton, mass is always 56 kg. This means the mass of the person on different situations is always similar, but its weight keeps on changing. Similarly, if you consider the second example, on earth mass is 120 kg, weight is 120 into 10, that is 1200 newton. Actually weight is given by the formula m into g, where m is the mass and g is the acceleration due to gravity. If we roughly take g to be equal to 10 meter per second square, then mass will be equal to 120 kg, weight is 1200 newton. As I told you that weight is a force. And simply consider the situation on moon. Mass is again 120 kg, but weight is 200 newton, because there is a difference in the value of acceleration due to gravity on earth and moon. The value of acceleration due to gravity on moon is 1/6 that of earth. So if the weight is 1200 newton on earth, it is 200 newton on moon. So mass is a constant quantity, whereas weight keeps on changing. Why does weight keep on changing? Due to change in the value of acceleration due to gravity. So again, as I told you, that mass is the amount of matter in an object, while weight is the relationship between an object's mass and the planet's gravity. It is measured in newtons. The weight of an object changes depending on the mass and gravity of a planet. An object deep in space has mass, but since there is no significant gravity, the weight will be zero. This is commonly referred to as a situation of weightlessness. You might have seen that inside a spaceship, the astronauts keep on floating. This is primarily due to the fact that there is absence of gravity, due to which, although they have mass, but they do not feel their weight. So weight is maximum at the poles and minimum at the equator. This is the effect that I was talking about some time before, that due to change in the value of acceleration due to gravity, what usually happens, if a person weighs himself in the poles and then he weighs himself in the equator, the values shown by the weighing machine is going to be different. Weight is equal to m into g. So the value of g at poles is more and the value of g at equator is less. So at value of acceleration due to gravity is different, so obviously weight at poles will be greater than weight at equator. So weight is maximum at poles and minimum at equator. So if the weight of the same object is taken at poles and equator, you will get different values for it. This is due to the fact that there is a difference in the value of acceleration due to gravity. So very quickly we can understand what is the difference between mass and weight. Mass is the quantity of matter in a body. Weight is the force by which the earth attracts towards its center. Mass is a scalar quantity, weight is a vector quantity and is always directed towards the center of the earth. Mass of a body is always constant everywhere in the universe. Weight of a body vary place to place and becomes zero on the center of the earth and far away from the earth's surface. As I told you, that weight of an object is zero also if we go to the center of the earth, if it is possible, obviously. Mass of a moving body is given by the expression m equal to F by A. This is actually from Newton's second law. Weight of a body is W equal to m into g. G stands for acceleration due to gravity. This is also obtained from Newton's second law, but it written in a different way. Mass can be determined by ordinary balance, the kind of balance that you usually see in a grocery store. Weight of a body is measured by spring balance. Unit of mass in SI system is kilogram, while that of weight in SI system is Newton. As weight is a type of force, so obviously its standard unit is going to be Newton. You have already studied about the equations of uniformly accelerated motion earlier. There is a slight modification when we talk about freely falling objects. So how does these equations get modified? You find that instead of writing v equal to u plus at, where a stands for acceleration, we can write down v equal to u plus gt. So instead of a, we have written g. S equal to ut plus half at square, that changes to h. H stands for height Height is also obviously a distance traveled in the vertical direction. So that will be equal to ut plus half gt square. And the third equation, that is v square equal to u square plus 2as, that will change to v square equal to u square plus 2gh. Here you should remember, for downward motion, initial velocity is going to be 0 and acceleration due to gravity is going to be taken as positive, that is plus 9.8 meter per second square. Similarly, for an object thrown vertically upwards, final velocity is going to be 0 and acceleration due to gravity is going to be negative, that is minus 9.8 meter per second square. These are the two things that we should remember while solving any numerical question. This is all for today. We shall be continuing with the remaining topics in the next session. Thank you.